Okay, we are now recording. We will stop recording when we are going into the discussion. So first, I want to say hello and welcome to the first dLOC workshop as part of the Building Capacity for Caribbean Collections workshop series. I'm very grateful for all the people who are attending right now. And because this is recorded, there are going to be people watching in the future. I'm glad that you are using this resource in the future. And I'm going to introduce our host. So I'm a host, and so is Todd Digby. Todd is the chair of the Library Technology Services Department at the University of Florida. And he leads that department that researches, develops, optimizes, and supports advanced library information systems and technology for the University of Florida libraries. He is also a great resource, and I'm very happy to be co-facilitating with him as he has a depth of knowledge that hopefully I will possess one day. And I am the program assistant for the Digital Library of the Caribbean at the University of Florida. I recently graduated from the University of Florida in 2021, and I have been in this position since the summer of 2022. And I'm working on a library guide for the new dLOC site, which a lot of this information is pulled from. And additionally, like Tani was talking about with the OER, I'm here as part of the Revitalizing the Digital Library of the Caribbean Mellon Grant. And without that, this wouldn't be possible. But I'm going to go into our agenda quickly. So today we are going to be covering the new dLOC website. This will be a brief overview with time held for questions and discussion. I will go over the advanced search options, the map search options, item view, and statistics. And as stated, I'll hold time at the end for any questions or discussions. So feel free to ask any questions in chat. And I want this to be a collaborative experience as much as it is one of us going through the new site together. So I am going to briefly turn our attention to another side-by-side of the new dLOC and the old dLOC. So the old site is on the right and the new site is on the left. Visually, it looks different, but a lot of the main facets of the site are there, just in different places. I want to point out some important links on the new site. So in the upper right-hand corner, there is a link to our team's contact information under the Contact Us link right here. And the About dropdown has 4 options. There's the overview, where one can fill out a dLOC invite to become a partner. Technology, this hosts some FAQs and contact information for reporting any site errors you encounter. Policies, that's just policies about item usage. And statistics, which are site-wide stats about usage and views. I'll cover statistics later. And lastly, you can view the site in 3 languages. So you can do English, Espanol, and French. But I'm going back to English because I am not fluent in any other language yet. And then additionally, from the top, you can use the collection and partners link to review collections that are of interest to your research area. From here, you can browse or search within particular collections. Once you find an item of interest, you can check out the collection section on the citation page to see what collection the item is in. So you can explore things from the same institution or collection. I will also go over that later. And so here you can see that I'm looking up the University of the Virgin Islands. So it went straight to all of the collections that have that term. But here's the general view of collections. And you can browse and then also read the about. So let's read the about of the bibliothèque. And you can see that there is an about. You can look at their collections, which are loading. Look at their stats, which can be downloaded, but I will talk about that separately. Now, I do want to go back and talk very briefly about terms that we might encounter. And so, can you all see that? Yes. There are two concepts that are used a lot on this site. Title search, which is any serial, so journals, papers, magazines, etc. From the top of the home site, you can click on title sets to come to a page to search for serials, newspapers, journals by title. dLOC's greatest strength and holdings are in serials. These come from many partners, so you'll see more complete runs of fantastic titles like Jamaica Journal, Bohemia, and more. You can also browse by date, often grouped by year, or by each issue, seeing the cover. You can also search across all issues of a given title. Many newspapers are loading now through the end of the year that have never been available outside of print and microfilm before, so the research opportunities are vast. There are also genres, which covers material types such as audio, birth records, maps, and things of that nature. That's important to know when you're using the advanced search option. And now I would like to go into our advanced search briefly. Going back to the homepage. So as you can see, there is a search bar here. And you can do a simple search in this bar and look something up like the term beach and get results regarding beaches, but that's a simple search. Simple searches are great for finding as many relevant results as possible and then using filters to narrow the search. Simple search also searches both the metadata and the full text. However, for optimization, only the first 10,000 results will appear. That's where an advanced search is great for honing these results. So we are going to go and do an advanced search, which I have prepared in another tab. This is what you can see when you look at other search options. That's what comes up. And so I'm using the title of the newspaper, the Tribune, to search within the Tribune. I want to find all mentions of Ardastra Gardens in the newspaper, the Tribune, after the year 2005. So I've put the Tribune under the title with a drop down here, as I showed you. And also in the search term, I put Ardastra Gardens. And then I'm going to edit the date by editing the date parameters. You can search by a date range or a single day. I'm going to do a date range, and I want to start in the year 2005. You do not have to put a month or a day. You can just put the year, and you can also search within a collection or partner. But I am going to look in general in this instance, as I've already honed it to a pretty decent search result. And here are the results that show up. I've already prepared all of these in new tabs. That way we don't have to wait for loading. Not that it takes long, but it can be a little bit awkward. And so here are the results. As you can see right here, it says title, the Tribune, full text, Ardastra Gardens, and the start date of 2005. And I am sorting by oldest first. That way we get our criteria filtered, starting with the oldest published newspaper article. The result highlight mentions our text in orange, and I'm just going to choose the first result. Again, opened in another tab. And so here are the two pages in which Ardastra Gardens is mentioned on page B3 and B4. When you hover over these pictures with your mouse, it will pop up with a highlight of the sentence where the text is mentioned. And then when you go into those individual results, you can see the paper. Unfortunately, it will not do an in-text highlight when you do open the result, but right here is where we are getting our results from. And we can always take a closer look at this result using this navigation bar. I'm going to start by going over each of these. So first is the description page. This is streamlined for the benefit of the user and can be used as a citation page. It contains record information such as the source institution and the holding location, which you can see over here. The rights, the collections it's a part of, which you can then go and click, as we spoke about earlier, and view more items in that collection. There's other information like the permanent link, the title, the creators, the place of publication, the publisher, publication date, and the language that the item is in, as well as the physical description. And then when you scroll down, you can see subjects. So for instance, this is where we have a genre of paper, newspaper, coordinates, and then other keywords that can also be used to find more results. So in this case, the spatial coverage is the Bahamas, since this is a Bahamian newspaper. And lastly, we have the metadata file that can be viewed and exported. Next is the download page, which shows the downloadable files. The most common download options are going to be JP2 and PDF. PDF you can view with a PDF viewer, and JP2 needs a JP2 viewer. On the technology page that I talked about in this dropdown right there, there is a link to a free JP2 viewer. A JP2 is similar to a PNG file or a JPEG file, but it has higher resolutions. And we can see that resolution when we go to the Flipbook tab. Flipbook is what you can utilize to flip through a collection of images or newspaper articles. You can pull up all images and scroll, or use the same button to look closer and press the little home icon to go to the first page. And then you also have the images, which are basically like a flipbook, but you click forward and you have zoomable options and get really close. And I want to show you all how close you can get. Okay, I'm going to zoom. And I'm just clicking. We get very, very close. And that's not even it. And then we click this button and we reset, basically. And then there is also a tag for the location, and you can look it at the result on a map, which I will show when I cover map search. And then on the right-hand side, you have the option to send it via email or print the page. And now let's talk about statistics quickly. This stats page shows how many views the item has had. There is a line graph here and a simple graph here. And the graph is done by month, but this information can also be exported as an Excel spreadsheet by clicking the Export CSV button. And I want to show you the collection that this is part of. It's part of the Caribbean Newspaper Digital Collection. And as I showed you on the other collections page, you can see all the statistics for the individual collection. And you can also export it as an Excel spreadsheet. You can export the queries by month and the size by month, as well as the views by month. And last search I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the map search. And I really like the map search. It's very fun. There are multiple ways to use this. So you can either do a rectangular box by clicking this, and you will search within those coordinates. So looking down here, it will go max latitude and max longitude and min latitude and minimum longitude. But you can also use the radius, which will create a circle going out from your point of origin, which is similar to the box search, except it radiates from one point. But the best way, if you know exactly where you want to search, is to add a marker. And you can either add a marker by using the add a marker button and putting it down, or you can enter an address. So I am going to do Port-au-Prince, Haiti. There we go. And it will go and make a marker for you, and you can search by those coordinates. And so I am going to search. And like I said, I have opened in a new tab the results. And I want us to filter it by media type because I want to see the photographs. And now we are going to look more closely at this statue because I want to show you the greatness of the map it option in the navigation bar. As you can see, it has a marker here, and we can zoom in on that marker, and it's similar to Google Maps. It uses the interface from Google Maps. And as we zoom in, we can put our little guy on the map, and we can see our statue, which is right there. There he is. And I really like that. It's very cool. And then also, I just want to mention this Ask Us tab. As you can see, it kind of popped up on every single page for dLOC. It's really great. You can start a chat and ask a librarian for help, and a UF librarian will help you. You would just put in your name, or you can leave it blank, and it will send a question or whatever your query is, and a librarian will get back to you as soon as possible. And there should be a live librarian there to help as well. I am going to stop sharing quickly because I want to mention, okay, just me and Todd. I want to mention the, yes. I want to thank you so much for your attention, and I just want to cover a few things before we head over to open discussion. One thing I want to bring to your attention is the technology page, which is for the library technology services. This is a specific page for the digital collections, including dLOC. If you have any problems that you find while searching, you can contact the LTS UFDC email. This will be super helpful for letting us know about any issues that may arise. This is a huge site with many collections, and things can go wrong in the migration of all these items. Second is that this is just an overview, and I wanted to do a quick run through of searching and how to use the new website. The dLOC interface is very new, and we are currently working to create documentation and a tutorial video. You can also always use the Ask Us link to be connected to the folks at the University of Florida to answer questions. And you can contact the dLOC team directly at dloc@uflib.ufl.edu, which Tanya has also dropped in the chat. However, if you have any questions or concerns or difficulties that you have encountered while using the site, please feel free to share them in our open discussion, and we can go through the site together as a group. I want it to be as general as possible because I don't know how you all use the site, and because everybody uses the site differently. So I am really it's an open discussion, and we're here to provide any specific answers to questions you have. With that being said, I am going to stop recording and we can start our discussion.
Sure, I was just going to